this week, Alan.
No.
I'm exhausted, basically. Absolutely knackered.
I just want to say, it's peeking behind the fourth wall. You do an amazing amount of work to kind of put this show together, and today has just been the day of all days to try to do this. So on
doing an
behalf,
actual job all day.
exactly. So well done for pulling it all together in the time that you had, which wasn't a lot.
You do probably slightly exaggerate about how much work I put into it, and a lot of the stuff I do is mostly for my own geeky fun around the stats and stuff. But I appreciate what you're saying there, and it wasn't a day to be writing a quiz at 5 o'clock when I finished work today.
No.
If I'm completely honest. Well, and it's been a really, and I say this with an obvious awareness that there's people in a way worse position than me in our sport this week, but it's been a really fucking emotional few days. I found it with the Wigan stuff going on and having had a bit of a background to what was happening with that a few days before it happened. So the build up to that happening, the actual what happened on Saturday when so much stuff started getting leaked that the club maybe expected a couple of the things to happen that happened, but there was certainly some things that were leaked that the club were very shocked that were leaked out there, and kind of seeing so many of my fellow Wigan fans go through an emotional journey that I'd already been through, so I wasn't in the same place as them, was pretty rough. And then the Toronto stuff was inevitably going to be rough as well, for the sport. And just, I really want to urge people to stop the anger and stop the hate. And I'm not saying accept things you don't like, question them, challenge them, and all those sorts of things. But don't use your anger positively. Don't give up on the sport because you're angry at the sport. Use your anger to help strengthen the sport. Put it into constructively challenging the people in power. Put it into constructively challenging the owners of your own clubs about the decisions and actions they're making. But also put some of your energy into understanding why things have happened and try and take your own lenses off them, because that's been really tough to do. My lens on Toronto is I wanted expansion. I want expansion to work. I wanted Toronto to put a bid that no one could question, and I wanted them to be in next year. And so I'm upset that they're not, and I'm nowhere near as upset as the actual Toronto Wolfpack fans on that. I'm a bit. There's been so many ups and downs with even how you feel about things in and around the sport. The rugby league family, etc., etc. How people are, the community around the game. It's been tough, man.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there'll be tough stuff to come still this next few weeks.
Yeah, it is hard because we're all going through things that we have never experienced before, outside of the sport. So to try to. And then if you...
God, and second lockdown being announced amidst all this.
Yeah. And then if your club changes the badge, you know what I mean? It can feel... I can understand why it feels like the last straw, because you can't go down the pub next week and, this is going wrong and blah, blah, blah. I understand. And if you're a Toronto fan, you haven't seen your team in the flesh for months. What you thought was going to be the future is now looking distinctly uncertain, and it's a horrible place to be.
Fans of people who are back in the other North American franchises, or people now, there's going to be the whole fallout with who wants who in and who wants who out, and Hull KR fans must be feeling pretty shit today as well, because their season's over after the Derby loss, and it kind of feels like their club gave up on the season as well. So there's so many emotional feelings. Let's look out for each other, I think, through this. And if we disagree with people, let's do it respectfully and pleasantly. And there's room for humour and stuff like that. And there is, even though Twitter Facebook, places like that seem to forget humour exists now, and jokes only get angry responses or whatever. But so let's try and be a bit more clear with our humour when we're using it, I suppose. But let's be there for each other.
Yeah, I mean the current issues and facing the world and the sport, they're transitory in their nature. And a person much wiser than me said, this too will pass, and it will. And it'll be all right, be fine eventually.
Have we got any recommendations, Alan, this week?
Oh, not really. Literally, I have almost nothing to recommend. The only thing I would say is that I quite enjoyed my tea tonight.
I mean, are you going to share with us what it was? Recipe?
Yeah, no, I will do. I'm just saying, it just feels like I'm clinging to the smallest things at the moment. But
wait till you hear mine then.
So in my vegan journey, finding a good curry has been very difficult. I was a massive fan of kind of Sainsbury's own brand kind of ready-made curries, which were really good. But they've brought out a vegan-friendly one that's kind of soya replacing the chicken. But it seems to use the same tikka masala sauce that I always really liked on it before. And I just really enjoyed that. So it was a quick tea, but I really enjoyed it. So that's my recommendation if you try to cut down on your meat consumption.
Good stuff. New slippers is mine.
New slippers?
Yeah, I don't know why it's taken me... I've had this pair of slippers for about 3 years or 4 years, maybe longer. And they'd worn away at the heel. They'd worn away at the heel a while ago. And
yeah, it's a bad sign.
I just... Because of the way this year's been, not getting to the shop to find a pair and stuff, but I finally thought, just order a fucking pair online, you idiot. And so I did, and they came today, and it's an absolute delight. Comfy new slippers, just in time for proper winter, because it did feel like proper winter this weekend already.
Yeah, I have to say, yes. I'm sat at my desk where I usually work, and it's been definitely colder this last week. But I also bought some slippers this week.
What?
I did. I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah.
So
mine are from H&M. I didn't even know H&M did slippers, but I was buying something else from them, and I thought, I'll check if they do slippers.
So it's thank you for joining us on Slipper League Pod. And they're really nice. It's you can't beat. See, I don't wear them kind of middle of the year. I'm somebody who always has warm feet, so I never wear slippers kind of during the summer. But come this time of year, I need a pair. So I bought some new ones this week too.
Good stuff. Right, what we've got coming up? Tim's going to be on the show with me next week, and then it will be Alan, then Tim, then probably everyone for the grand final. Sarah's going to nip in where she can as well, which is great. And by the time we get to the grand final, we'll get a fan on from the winning team, no doubt, as we always have done. So now that we know what's happening, we've been able to plan ahead, which is we've been a bit up in the air for the last few weeks. We're going to be Mondays now after this week's show through to the end of the season. So and we're going to start putting together Dream Team shortlists and getting the awards voting up. It's going to be a bit more restricted than normal, the awards. I think we're going to make the season review show a little bit more trimmed down, because we don't need to do a full breakdown of every team this year, really, do we, the way it's been? So we'll do something slightly shorter for the end of season review, but we'll make sure everyone gets a chance to vote for their SLP Player of the Year, etc. Do you want to tell people about where they can get us on social media, etc.?
Yep. So you can find us at Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/superleaguepod. You can email us at superleaguepod@gmail.com. You can find the episode blog posts on the website at superleaguepod.com. You can search for the show on all your podcast players, such as Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Spotify, or Overcast, or anywhere you find your podcasts. And we're also on YouTube.
Good stuff. Our partners, Rob's Toy Shop, enter SLP discount on checkout at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay and get 5% cash back on orders over £5, plus give 1% cash back to SLP. Little Warden, vital alerts for hidden issues. Head to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you. Mascot Browns for all your international rugby league gear. I made my final order from the UK Mascot Browns site this year. Ahead of it, I sent an email to Steve. I sent a text to Steve Mascot saying, "What have you got left in large?" So then I know what to look for to order. And he said, the website's updated, it's fine. So I made an order on the website. Got an email from Steve saying, that training top we don't have in large, and that jersey we don't have in large. And I was like, and he said, that's why you messaged me, didn't it? I was like, yes, because every time I order something, and you're like, I'm not sure we've got it in that size. But yeah, they've still got a massive wide range, and it's all going to be moving over to the Aussie store, so you'll still be able to get stuff, but it will drop off from the partners next year. But still, you know, the Mascots Browns have supported us, and we've supported them. Sarah's bookcase. Sarah sells Usborne books with access to over 3,000 titles from baby to young adult. There's something for everyone. Find out more on Facebook. Seeing it.
I think that's it. I think we've all done very well this week.
Yeah. Speak to you all next week, and it's going to be playoff time.
Yeah, nearly.
No, we'll be talking about the playoffs. Oh, anyway, see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.